Keywords of the novel. Wangu Zhandi no pop-ups, Wangu Zhandi TXT complete collection download, Wangu Zhandi latest chapter reading. Chapter 001. Hate System. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Wipe, it's time to cross. Xiao Yi rubbed his head in great frustration, causing his head to ache. A large number of memory fragments exploded in his mind, making him almost dizzy from the pain. After living for 22 years, Xiao Yi never felt like a good person because he was a mercenary with a lot of blood in his hands. Unexpectedly, while crossing the road today, he was killed by a Land Rover car while rescuing a young woman and Loli who were almost hit by a car. As a mercenary who had experienced many wars and countless rounds of gunfire, Xiao Yi unexpectedly died at the hands of a street killer. He felt that he had died very miserably. Fortunately, I have traveled through this time, otherwise Xiao Yi really wouldn't know where to cry. After a moment, Xiao Yi's head was no longer so painful, and by this time, the memory fragments in his mind had completely merged with his memories. What kind of scrambled egg life is this? I have achieved nothing in practicing martial arts, my body has been disabled since I was young, and my elixir field is broken, making it impossible to cultivate. My father is a clan leader, but I am beaten every day and never dare to tell him. Crazy dad, it's a bit too cowardly. After merging the chaotic memories in his mind, Xiao Yi was speechless and immediately stood up from the ground, struggling to withstand the pain in his body. At this moment, the place where he was located was a mountain slope, and the reason why he appeared here was because he had just been dragged here and beaten up. According to my memory, the place I am currently in should be the fantasy world in online novels. The people here can rise and fall, and it is even said that they can fly to heaven and escape from the earth. Xiao Yi stood up from the ground and frowned. Nowadays, Dantian is broken. Although one can improve their strength by refining their body, it is impossible to become a strong person. With such a situation, how can one get rid of the predicament? Ding! Suddenly, an electronic prompt sounded in Xiao Yi's mind. Hate system binding. Hate system activated. Scan binder information. Name: Xiao Yi. Current background and identity: young master of the Xiao clan. Hidden identity: a traveler. Age: 18. Martial arts realm: ordinary people. Cultivation qualification: broken Dantian, low qualification. Identification result: super waste. Is this my golden finger? With the electronic sound coming to an end, Xiao Yi slammed his lips. As an old bookworm who had read many novels, he didn't feel anything strange about such things. Since he had traveled through time, it was normal for him to have golden fingers or something. Young master, I've finally found you. Suddenly, a hurried shout came into Xiao Yi's ear. Following the sound, she saw a young girl dressed in green clothes, with a delicate face and two small braids tied on her head, who looked very pure and lovely running from a distance. Young master, why are you so dusty? Aren't you fighting with someone again? Young master, you must have won again. Hee, young master, you're amazing. You win every fight. After the little girl ran to Xiao Yi's side, she immediately chattered to Xiao Yi. Winning every fight. Xiao Yi looked at the little girl silently. According to memory, the reason why the little girl said this to him was because her predecessor often fooled the little girl. I really don't know how insincere this little girl is. She believes whatever her predecessor said. To be honest, what are you rushing to find me for? Xiao Yi said. Oh, by the way, what's going on? I really want to forget, I'm sorry young master. The little girl patted her forehead with her hand, then suddenly looked pitifully at Xiao Yi, her eyes turning red. Xiao Yi opened her mouth. Although she knew from memory that the little girl in front of her was confused and easily fooled by herself, she was a natural fool, but she never expected the other person to be so confused. Forget it, let's go back. When you think of something, let me know. Xiao Yi rubbed the little girl's head with his hand and then strode up, secretly trying to communicate with the loathsome hatred system in his mind as he walked. In this situation, for a few minutes, Xiao Yi and the little girl walked into a mansion called Xiao Mansion. This is a mansion covering an extremely large area, with pavilions, rockery gardens, carved beams and painted rafters, a huge martial arts arena, and various courtyards. Although Xiao Yi has the memory in her mind, she is still amazed. Look, that useless Xiao Yi has returned. Damn it, even though this guy has useless qualifications and doesn't work hard to practice martial arts, why is Linger's cute little maid his personal maid? I heard that the Lin family came to propose marriage today and is preparing to betroth Miss Lin and Lin Shireen to Xiao Yi. Lin Shireen, that's the most beautiful fairy in Tianfeng City, the goddess in countless people's dreams. Flowers planted on cow dung, this is simply flowers planted on cow dung. Damn it, I really want to kill Xiao Yi. Even if I can't kill him, I must clean him up again tonight. As Xiao Yi and the little girl walked into the mansion, some people who saw them immediately began to discuss. These guys seemed to be whispering, but in reality, their voices were loud, allowing Xiao Yi, who was approaching, to hear their discussion. When he heard these people's words, his eyebrows immediately furrowed. Because in his memory, he has been beaten many times by these people. Ding, successfully being hated by others, gaining 6 points of hatred experience. Do you want to start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 6%. Note: the hatred system can allow the host to absorb hatred to enhance their strength. For every 100 hatred points obtained, they can 100% break through Acupoint. Suddenly, the electronic prompt sound rang out again in Xiao Yi's mind, and with the sound, Xiao Yi's eyes lit up. According to the memory in my mind, the martial arts realm of this world is divided into levels such as Chongxue, Ningqi, Yuantai, Longteng, Xinxiao, and so on. Among them, Chongxue refers to the 108 vital acupoints and orifices in the human body, which martial artists can use to practice to flush open the acupoints in the body. Every time a acupoint is opened, its strength will skyrocket. At the same time, during the process of punching, it can absorb the energy of heaven and earth stored in the acupoint, which is used to harden the body of the martial artist. The degree to which each person's acupoint can absorb the energy of heaven and earth is different, and not everyone can punch 108 acupoints open. Most people can only punch 36 acupoints open. The more acupoints open, the stronger the foundation of the martial arts, and the later martial arts realm can also go further and have stronger power. Therefore, this realm is also called the foundation building realm. The original predecessor, due to the fragmentation of the elixir field, was unable to cultivate internal martial arts at all and could only cultivate some body cultivation techniques. However, because the predecessor was weak from a young age and could not endure hardship, he is still just an ordinary person. This hatred system can actually absorb the hatred of others to enhance strength. It's interesting. As the son of a homeowner, I can still be considered a playboy. Isn't it easy for a playboy to pull hatred? Xiao Yi narrowed his eyes, and his heart, which was originally angry due to these people's discussions, instantly calmed down. To readers. Well, the children's shoes are meeting again. Knife's new book has been released, seeking collection, book reviews, and support. Chapter 002. Hate value increased. You are listening at novelfull.audio. TSK, kill me. You're not afraid to laugh off my big teeth. With only 5 scumbags in combat power, why would you kill me? As Xiao Yi learned about the power of the system, he suddenly led the little girl towards those who were discussing him, and as he walked, he sneered at them disdainfully. Is the combat power only 5? Discussing Xiao Yi's teenage dream, one by one looked at him in confusion, not knowing the specific meaning behind it. However, although they did not know the specific meaning, from Xiao Yi's expression, they also saw that this was not a good thing. Xiao Yi, are you looking for a fight? You're too brave to provoke the elders. One of the young men, dressed in red martial arts attire and looking quite burly, suddenly shouted at Xiao Yi. This person's name is Xiao Shi, and he is a collateral descendant of the Xiao clan, not a direct descendant of the Xiao clan. Ha, hit me. Linger, this idiot in front of me actually said he wants to hit me. Do you think they can beat your young master and me? Xiao Yi sneered without hesitation, then suddenly rubbed Linger's head with his hand and said to Linger with a smile. No, young master is very powerful. He wins every fight and fights those people who fight with young master like a dead dog. Linger flickered her beautiful eyes and looked at Xiao Yi with admiration. Did you hear that, you trash? You're just worthy of being beaten like a dead dog by Ben Xiao. Xiao Yi proudly spoke to the boys next to him. Damn it, you're distorting the truth. It's clear that you've been beaten to death by us. Xiao Shi was furious. He was a warrior who broke through 18 acupoints. Although he wasn't the strongest among the young generation of the Xiao clan, his overall strength was also good. He had a glimpse of Linger for a long time, but due to Linger's identity, he never dared to do anything to Linger. Don't think Linger is Xiao Yi's personal maid, but she was also the granddaughter of a certain senior elder, so he could only vent his anger on Xiao Yi and beat her up whenever there was a chance. As for why the Supreme Elder would let his granddaughter serve as Xiao Yi's personal maid, many people still don't understand. Are you sure I was beaten to death by you? Who am I? I am the Supreme Young Master of the Xiao clan, and my father is the head of the Xiao clan. I am destined to take over the Xiao clan. If you dare to beat me, it will be the following offense. According to the rules of the Xiao clan, you will have to abolish your cultivation, be imprisoned in death row, and be imprisoned for a lifetime. Xiao Yi looked coldly at Xiao Shi and said to him with a stern tone. This. Xiao Shi's pupils suddenly shrank and he looked at Xiao Yi in disbelief. This is not the first time he has bullied Xiao Yi. Apart from the first time he bullied Xiao Yi, he was afraid that Xiao Yi would give him a small report. Later, he saw that Xiao Yi had been swallowing his anger and dared not be angry. He immediately became even more resentful of the bullying. Unexpectedly, today Xiao Yi has become smarter. What's this? Tell the children of these families next to me loudly, have you beaten me to death? Did I beat you to death, or did you beat me to death? Xiao Yi sneered at Xiao Shi, his voice suddenly becoming sharp. Xiao Yi, don't bully others too much. Xiao Shi's eyes suddenly turned red and he was furious. Bullying people too much. TSK. I'll let you know what it means to bully people too much now. Xiao Yi suddenly sneered and strode up to Xiao Shi, then slapped him in the face with a slap. You. Xiao Shi looked at Xiao Yi with wide eyes, completely stunned by the beating. From beginning to end, he never expected Xiao Yi to hit him, and even hit his face. I'll kill you. The next second, Xiao Shi let out a roar and then swung his right hand toward Xiao Yi's head, ready to punch him to death. The following offenses: contempt for clan rules, where is the iron guards? Faced with Xiao Shi's attack, Xiao Yi showed no fear on his face. Instead, he suddenly shouted loudly. Accompanied by his shout, a middle-aged man wearing silver-white battle armor suddenly appeared in the field, and then grabbed Xiao Shi's hand that was attacking Xiao Yi in the void. Iron-clad guards. With the appearance of this middle-aged man, Xiao Shi and even the other young men next to him suddenly changed their faces. Pop. Suddenly, a crisp slapping sound sounded. As Xiao Shi and others changed their expressions, Xiao Yi slapped Xiao Shi's face again and struck him hard. With just one strike, Xiao Shi's face became swollen, and a large amount of dirty blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. This time, Xiao Yi used all his strength, causing his hands to ache. Ding, successfully being hated by others increases hatred experience by 30 points. Whether to start punching or not, the current success rate of punching is 36%. The system prompt sound echoed in Xiao Yi's mind once again. Xiao Yi. Xiao Shi looked at Xiao Yi with immense anger, his eyes full of killing intent, as if he had chosen someone to devour him and wished he had eaten him. You dare to stare at me? Xiao Yi narrowed his eyes, then moved his right hand and slapped Xiao Shi again, making his eyes sparkle with gold stars. Ding, successfully being hated by others, increasing hatred experience by 30 points. Should I start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 66%. The system prompt sounds again. With the sound of these prompts, Xiao Yi's face lit up with a flower-like smile. There was nothing more exciting than bullying others while learning about her own strength growth. According to this situation, one can immediately break through the first acupoint on their own. Although punching acupoints is only the foundation of martial arts, most people in the Xiao clan, like Xiao Yi, have already broken through more than 15 acupoint orifices. However, Xiao Yi's predecessor used to be unable to punch acupoints at all, but now in less than a while, he can break through one acupoint, which is a complete difference between heaven and earth. Are you still staring at me? Xiao Yi looked at Xiao Shi with a smile and said again. With his words, Xiao Shi continued to stare at him without giving up. So, Xiao Yi slapped Xiao Shi heavily again in the face, this time on the other side of the face, always saying that it would be disproportionate. In order to be proportionate, it is better for both sides to be under pressure. Otherwise, what should Xiao Shi do when he says he is unfair later? Xiao Yi, I want to kill you, I want to kill you. Xiao Yi once again slapped him in the face in public, and Xiao Shi roared loudly again, his body trembling incessantly. However, although he trembled and was angry, his fists were tightly grabbed by the iron guards in the void. From the moment the iron guards appeared, his strength was completely blocked by them. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 20 points. Do you want to start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 86%. The system prompts the sound. Why is the hatred value lower than before? Xiao Yi frowned as he heard the system prompt. Note. The upper limit of each person's hatred towards the host for a certain period of time is 100 points, and the further they go, the less their hatred increases. The sound of the system answering Xiao Yi's confusion echoed in his mind. Chapter 003. Breaking through the first acupoint. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. There is such a setting, why is it getting less and less? How can we know how much hatred the other party has towards me at the moment? Xiao Yi asked in his heart, puzzled. Note. The system has a super scanning function that can scan others' hatred towards the host. The system prompt sound will sound. How to use scanning. Upon receiving the system's response, Xiao Yi immediately asked again. Note. Just designate someone in your mind and silently scan them, the system replied. Well, I understand now. Xiao Yi nodded to himself and then shifted his attention back to Xiao Shi, silently scanning. Scan target. Xiao Shi. Gender. Male. Martial realm. Middle stage of acupoint flushing, breaking through 18 acupoints. Age. 18. Cultivation qualification. Mediocre. Current hatred towards the host. 81, belonging to a dangerous level, it is recommended that the host quickly erase the target. Unexpectedly, it can scan not only the hatred value, but also the martial arts realm and cultivation qualification, which is awesome. Xiao Yi is very satisfied with this scanning function. According to this situation, if anyone wants to kill him in the future, he should only use this scanning to find out that the other party has a problem. In this way, he will not be afraid of being ambushed by others. As a mercenary working in the international arena, Xiao Yi is well aware that those who expose hostility towards him in this world are often not so terrifying. What is terrifying is those who hide their hostility and are behind the scenes. No one knows when they will strike him. As you can see, this guy is actually preparing to kill me. Do you think I should kill him? As he learned that the Xiao-Shi collider had that level of hatred, Xiao Yi's eyes narrowed and he continued to smile at the Iron Guards who took action. Iron-clad guard. This is a special type of dark guard of the Xiao clan, specifically used to protect family heirs and maintain family balance. To be honest, when Xiao Yi learned from his memory that there was such a type of dark guard, he was very disappointed with his predecessor. He really didn't understand what that guy was thinking. Even though his family had such a dark guard setting, he would still be bullied by others. It was really unacceptable. Although Iron Guards are not easy to appear, usually appearing during life and death struggles among family members, Xiao Yi is at least the young master of the family. Since he is the young master of the family, he still has some privileges. According to clan rules, committing the following offenses is already a serious crime. If we also include the crime of wanting to kill the young master of the family, it is not impossible to erase it. The middle-aged man in armor heard Xiao Yi's words and took a deep look at him, then said calmly. With his words, Xiao-Shi, who was originally clamoring to kill Xiao Yi, suddenly turned pale as paper, and his pupils contracted violently, unable to believe that this was what he had heard. TSK, in that case, Xiao-Shi. Xiao Yi blinked twice and then looked at Xiao-Shi with a smile. As he did so, Xiao-Shi's body suddenly shuddered. No, don't kill me, Xiao Yi. I was wrong, don't kill me, don't kill me. Xiao-Shi, who was originally tough, suddenly became weak and begged for mercy from Xiao Yi in great fear. Do you know you're wrong now? What did you do just now? Xiao Yi squinted his eyes, put his hand in front of him, and slightly checked his hand. Then, with a slap, he slapped Xiao-Shi again. With this slap, Xiao-Shi's killing intent flashed in his eyes. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 5 points. Should I start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 91%. The system prompts the sound. Do you really know you're wrong? Xiao Yi gave a wicked smile, then arched with both hands and waved his hands at Xiao-Shi, continuously slapping him more than 10 times, making his eyes look like stars and his face swell like a pig's head. At the same time, his hatred towards Xiao Yi reached 91, and Xiao Yi's hatred experience also reached 96 points. I was wrong, Xiao Yi, no, young master, I was wrong, let me go, please let me go, I dare not dare again, I dare not dare again in the future. Although Xiao-Shi's hatred towards Xiao Yi increased, he did not show any arrogant attitude towards Xiao Yi under the continuous beating, but instead repeatedly begged for mercy. I don't want to die. At this moment, Xiao-Shi doesn't want to die at all. Although he had a huge hatred towards Xiao Yi, he didn't want to just die here. Now that his strength was sealed by the Iron Guards, Xiao-Shi was very uneasy. Kneel down, if you kneel down, I'll spare you. Xiao Yi suddenly said evil to Xiao-Shi, and when he said these words, his expression was very arrogant, with a super dandy look on his face. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred value by 2 points, whether to start punching, current success rate, 98%. The system prompt will sound at the appropriate time. Get down on your knees. Xiao-Shi's face changed greatly, and his eyes showed murderous feelings again. He was unwilling to accept this insult. He immediately waited for the violent attack on Xiao Yi, and vowed to kill Xiao Yi. However, before he took action, a powerful threat rose from the iron-clad guards, and then fell on him, making him enter the Taishan mountain. He could not help but open his mouth and spit out a mouthful of blood. Pudong. The next second, feeling the danger in substance, Xiao-Shi weighed the pros and cons in his heart, and ultimately chose to temporarily hold back, forcefully suppressing the bleeding heart and kneeling to the ground. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred value by 7 points, whether to start punching, current success rate, 105%. Accompanied by Xiao Shi's kneeling, his hatred towards Xiao Yi immediately reached 100 points, and at the same time, Xiao Yi's success rate of attacking the first acupoint directly exceeded 100%. Charge the acupoint. Without much thought, Xiao Yi chose to Chongxue. As he made such a choice, the next second, a huge roar that only he could hear rang out from within Xiao Yi's body. Then, a crucial acupoint called Shenting was pushed open by a strange force. As this acupoint opened, Xiao Yi suddenly realized that his strength had suddenly increased at this moment. Although the increased strength is still much worse than the strength he had at the peak of his previous life, it is still much better than the strength that his previous body had. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, a burst of laughter echoed from Xiao Yi's mouth. His laughter was incredibly loud, making everyone around him look at each other, especially those who had offended Xiao Yi before. Chapter 004. Lessons from the Past. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Successfully broke through a acupoint. I really succeeded in breaking through a acupoint. Although with the emergence of the system, Xiao Yi vaguely understood that his future strength improvement would become relatively easy, but when the first acupoint truly succeeded in breaking through, Xiao Yi couldn't help but feel a little excited. Because this is a strong factual basis. You really don't have any backbone. If you kneel down, then kneel down, and you don't feel ashamed. Xiao Yi laughed for a while, then suddenly his gaze fell on Xiao Shi again. With the words falling, he even spat contemptuously at Xiao Shi. As he did so, Xiao Shi's face twisted and his body twitched violently. The hand that had been placed on the ground due to kneeling down tightly clenched together. I fought with you. Suddenly, a loud roar sounded from Xiao Shi's mouth. His body suddenly jumped up, and then swung his fist to attack Xiao Yi. However, before long, his attack landed on Xiao Yi's body, and his body suddenly flew backwards, then fell heavily to the ground. Puff. Xiao Shi opened his mouth and spewed out blood. When he landed on the ground, he constantly tested himself and looked at Xiao Yi with a pair of resentful eyes, clearly injured. And as he was in such a disheveled situation, the iron guards were standing calmly by Xiao Yi's side at this moment. Xiao Shi would be so distressed that it was this iron guards who took action. What a pity. Xiao Yi didn't care at all about Xiao Shi's resentful gaze, but looked at him with some regret. If it weren't for a full value of 100 points, he would probably have gained some hatred experience again. I really don't know how an idiot like you can live for so long. Xiao Yi sneered at Xiao Shi on the ground, then suddenly turned his gaze to the iron guards and thanked them, Senior, thank you. If it weren't for you, I would have hung here this time. This is my duty, young master, you don't need to thank me. The middle-aged man said calmly to Xiao Yi. Is that right, but even so, I still want to thank you, Senior. Xiao Yi smiled and thanked the middle-aged man again, then changed his tone. By the way, Senior, this guy in front of me dares to take action to kill me twice in a row. Can you please disable his martial arts skills for me? You dare, Xiao Yi, you dare. If you dare to do this, my father and brother will definitely not let you go. Before the iron guards could answer Xiao Yi, Xiao Shi lying on the ground suddenly shouted in fear, with a clear hint of fear and threat in his voice. Your father, your brother. Ha! Xiao Yi pursed his lips. Isn't there another source of hatred? It's okay not to say that. With this, it's even more impossible to easily let go of the guy in front of him. Please take action, Senior. Xiao Yi said to the middle-aged man again. Brush. With Xiao Yi's words, the middle-aged man took a deep look at him and then appeared next to Xiao Shi, without any movement or action. A hysterical scream rang out from Xiao Shi's mouth, with an indescribable panic, sadness, and resentment. After the middle-aged man did such a thing, he immediately disappeared from the sight of Xiao Yi and others, as if suddenly vaporized. Seeing this, Xiao Yi didn't feel anything strange either. The secret guards of the Xiao family have all practiced special techniques to conceal their bodies. They have always been a divine presence, and unless something must be done, it is basically difficult for ordinary family members to actively find them. Now, do you still think that Miss Lin's marriage to me is a flower planted in cow dung? As Xiao Shi's matter was resolved, Xiao Yi smiled and turned his gaze to the other Xiao ethnic children next to him. At this moment, these people looked at Xiao Yi with a wary expression, and many of them had expressions of disbelief on their faces. That person who is often bullied by them suddenly experienced a shocking reversal today. Although Xiao Yi did not kill Xiao Shi, abolishing Xiao Shi's Dan field was even more ruthless than killing Xiao Shi. Such ruthless methods can be said to have frightened them immensely, because they had dealt with Xiao Yi a lot before. Of course not. Yeah, how could that be? It's absolutely impossible. The young master is so handsome and charming, more than enough to match Miss Lin's family. Yes, that's it. With a lesson from their past experiences, the children of the Xiao clan next to them dared not offend Xiao Yi. They immediately flattered Xiao Yi and didn't want to become the next Xiao Shi. Well, that's good. I'm very satisfied with what you've done. If it weren't for your past offending me, I wouldn't have given you something because of your sweet words. But now, let me show my face. Xiao Yi smiled and looked at the 7 or 8 Xiao ethnic children next to him, his hands moving very casually. Extend your face. The children of the Xiao clan around were all staring at Xiao Yi in confusion, not understanding what Xiao Yi meant. However, they were only momentarily stunned, and soon someone reacted and understood Xiao Yi's meaning. When they understood Xiao Yi's words, their faces changed greatly, and anger appeared in many people's eyes. At this moment, the children of the Xiao clan in the list, with the worst strength, broke through 7 or more acupoints and were asked to extend their faces to fight Xiao Yi, which was completely an insult. Why are you unwilling? Xiao Yi squinted his eyes and then turned his gaze towards Xiao Shi, who was still screaming not far away. The meaning was self-evident, that if these people in front of him did not agree, then Xiao Shi would be an example of them. Accompanied by Xiao Yi's actions, the faces of the Xiao clan's children in the surrounding area immediately changed once again. However, although the color changed, not everyone was suddenly afraid. Although they were afraid of the current Xiao Yi, they did not understand why Xiao Yi had such a shocking change at once. However, Iron Guards may seem to have made a move for Xiao Yi once, but they are not sure they will make a second move. Because there is a clear rule in the Xiao clan that family heirs are not allowed to engage in arbitrary fighting within the family. Once such incidents occur, the Iron Guards have the right to take action. Just now, Xiao Shi was so miserable because that idiot didn't look at the situation and just dealt with Xiao Yi. Now, as long as they don't take the initiative to attack Xiao Yi can't harm them. As for leaving the family, it's even more impossible. Not to mention that Xiao Yi dared not take action, even if he did, it would definitely be Xiao Yi who suffered. Outside the family, the Iron Guards would not always follow and watch in the dark. That's also why every time Xiao Yi is beaten, he is pulled outside instead of within the family. With Xiao Yi's strength, any one of them can easily teach him a lesson. Xiao Yi, don't bully others too much. One of the teenagers suddenly shouted to Xiao Yi, and with his words, the others around him also turned a cold eye towards Xiao Yi. Chapter 005. Charge another acupoint. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I bully people too much. I just bully you, so what? TSK, I don't know how my father would react if he knew I was fighting with others in the back mountain every day. Xiao Yi shrugged without hesitation and then casually said, and as he said this, the boys who had originally changed color became even more ugly. Xiao Yi has changed. Absolutely changed. In the past, Xiao Yi was bullied every day, but he never told his father that no matter how bullied he was, he always persevered. But today, from what this guy meant, he was actually preparing to file a lawsuit. If the homeowner were to know that they often bullied Xiao Yi, then the children of the Xiao tribe in the surrounding area dare not think any further, as they will definitely bear an extremely terrifying punishment. Xiao Yi, can't you spare us a lot from adults? I promise I won't do that again in the future, a young man spoke bitterly. Yes, Xiao Yi, no, young master. Young master, you have a large number, so please let us go. Yeah, we dare not dare again. The young men who had just turned a cold eye towards Xiao Yi pretended to be grandsons to him again. Everyone extend their faces to me. Accompanied by the fear of the young men, an extremely cold voice suddenly rang out from Xiao Yi's mouth. His attitude was extremely tough, with a non-negotiable demeanor. The young men who were already afraid of Xiao Yi's words trembled with each other's hearts, and then looked at each other, seeing hatred and compromise in each other's eyes. Then, these young men each clenched their fists tightly and stretched out their faces as Xiao Yi said. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 5 points. Do you want to start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 10%. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 5 points. Do you want to start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 15%. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 5 points. Do you want to start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 20%. Ding, successfully obtained hatred. Ding, successfully obtained hatred. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 5 points. Do you want to start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 40%. As these teenagers stretched out their faces, a series of system prompts suddenly rang out in Xiao Yi's mind, making him feel ecstatic. These people in front of me are so cute. However, although Xiao Yi felt that the people in front of him were very cute, he was not prepared to stop like this. Instead, he took a step forward suddenly and then slapped the faces of these guys one after another. Peepa peepa. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 10 points. Do you want to start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 50%. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 10 points. Do you want to start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 60%. Ding, successfully obtained hatred. Ding. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 10 points. Do you want to start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 110%. A series of system prompts sounded again with Xiao Yi's move, and his hatred points increased again at this moment, causing his hatred experience to once again reach over 100 points. Chongxue. There was no hesitation at all. Seeing the success rate break through 100% again, Xiao Yi immediately chose to Chong Acupoint again. As he did so, a strange force generated in his body, once again pushing open one of his acupoints. The acupoint that was breached this time was Baihui Acupoint. With the opening of this acupoint, Xiao Yi realized that his strength had once again increased. The strength he had gained this time was almost the same as the strength he had gained through the extremely difficult training he had experienced in his previous life. This way of increasing power is really amazing. Xiao Yi's heart was immensely uplifted. If there had been such a way to increase his strength in his past life, he would have been a legend in the mercenary world. If his way of increasing his strength had been known by those who had gone through training camps with him before, they would probably have their eyes red with envy and jealousy. As his strength increased, Xiao Yi couldn't help but slap these guys who had already slapped them once again. However, in this round of slapping, he couldn't increase his experience points as crazily as he did just now. Except for a few who added 10 points of experience to him consecutively, everything else was basically 1 or 2 points. Seeing this, Xiao Yi stopped continuing. His hatred experience increased by 1 or 2 points, which was slightly less than the increase of 5 or 10 points. In addition, he just gave these guys a hard lesson. If they all become enemies of life and death, it's better to forget about it. Of course, even so, when Xiao Yi stopped, his experience points reached 68 points again, making him almost unable to resist continuing to draw these guys. In a short period of time, his strength has been continuously improved by 2 levels, and looking at this posture, he is about to improve again. This has made Xiao Yi a bit addicted to it. This is his first time slapping someone, and he has had such a great time. I'll let you guys go for the time being today. Remember to hate me from now on, let's all get out of here now. Xiao Yi whipped these guys for a while before speaking to them. With his words, the 7 family members all rushed towards the distance as if they had been granted amnesty. In their eyes, the current Xiao Yi was like a demon. There was no way he could slap his face, he would slap it dozens of times. Each of their faces had been completely swollen now. As for hating Xiao Yi, of course they did. However, the current Xiao Yi has clearly changed. Even if they hate Xiao Yi, they are a bit afraid of him. Wow, young master, you're so amazing. Linga really admires you. As the Xiao clan's children fled, the little girl who had been in the mode of watching the play suddenly threw herself into Xiao Yi's arms, and then hugged her arms to cheer excitedly at Xiao Yi. Her delicate face was clearly flushed with excitement, and her beautiful eyes were incredibly worshipful as they landed on Xiao Yi's face. I told you a long time ago that the young master is very powerful. Xiao Yi awkwardly rubbed the little girl's head with his hand. Although the girl looked very small, she seemed to be developing quite well. Under the girl's excitement, Xiao Yi clearly felt the little girl's, but I've never seen you fight with my own eyes before. You're really handsome, young master. Linga really admires you. Linga flashed her beautiful eyes and spoke to Xiao Yi coquettishly. Chapter 006. Become Smarter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Really? Xiao Yi rubbed Linger's head again, then glanced at Xiao Shi who was still howling not far away, and then left the spot with Linger. Listening to those guys' discussions just now, it seems like someone came to ask for marriage today. I didn't expect Xiao Yi to have someone else propose to me. If my memory is correct, that Lin Jialan's poetic voice was also a good beauty in Fengcheng on this day. However, in my memory, why didn't I know someone came to propose today, and it was still a beautiful woman like Lin Shirin? As Xiao Yi walked, he secretly turned his thoughts and organized some of the information he had heard earlier. If he had known this, he should have carefully asked those guys what was going on earlier. By the way, Xiao Yi suddenly thought of a possibility. Linger, you came to find me first. Isn't it the elders who called you here? No, Linger's cute eyes flickered, her gaze slightly dodging. It seems that my Linger has also learned how to deceive people. Have you really forgotten what happened when you came to me earlier? Xiao Yi looked at Linger with a smile, making Linger's pretty face turn red. His gaze became even more evasive, and he twisted his hands around his clothes, with a posture of not daring to look at Xiao Yi. Linger, Xiao Yi called out, her voice slightly higher. I'm sorry, young master. They didn't mean to. Linger opened her mouth and then looked at Xiao Yi pitifully with her beautiful eyes. Tell me, what's going on? It's not like what those people discussed earlier. Someone came to ask for marriage, is it? Xiao Yi looked at Linger with a smile. Young master, how have you become so smart? Linger flickered her beautiful big eyes and looked at Xiao Yi with suspicion. Ouch. As soon as Linger's words fell, Xiao Yi casually gave Linger a popping corn, knocking her in pain and tears streaming down her face. Young master. Ling Er looked pitifully at Xiao Yi, her agile and beautiful eyes flickering in her small mouth pouting. This is the first time she has been bullied by a young master like this. After playing with Ling Er for a while, you used to be very dishonest. It seems that you are not as silly and cute as you appear. Xiao Yi smiled at Ling Er and didn't expect that he would have been fooled at times. However, this is all empiricism. If it weren't for the memories of his predecessor in his mind, he would have secretly believed that Ling Er was a very deceitful and silly little girl. With his international mercenary vision, he couldn't have been fooled by Ling Er at once. No, young master. What are you talking about? Why can't Ling Er understand at all? Ling Er first flickered her beautiful eyes in panic, then turned her eyes slightly, looking at Xiao Yi with a silly and cute expression, as if she really didn't understand Xiao Yi's meaning at all. If it were the previous Xiao Yi, of course, she would have fooled her immediately. However, since Xiao Yi has started to suspect her now, it is impossible to be fooled again. Father, why should Shireen marry Xiao Yi? Xiao Yi is not only a famous waste firewood young master in Tianfeng City, but also has low qualifications, not only does not work hard to cultivate, and is weak and helpless. He is simply an unsupported adu. If Shireen were to marry him, Shireen would definitely not be happy. In a living room, a handsome and tall young man looked at a middle-aged man wearing a brocade robe with an angry expression. This handsome young man is named Lin Xiaojie, while the wealthy middle-aged man is named Lin Bao. Second brother, don't blame your father. Shireen voluntarily agreed to this marriage. Just as Lin Xiaojie was angry, a woman in a green dress suddenly spoke up next to a wealthy middle-aged man. She has a waterfall-like hair, a distant mountain like a pair of beautiful eyes like dreams, a delicate nose, pink cheeks slightly flushed, 2 red cherry lips, unpainted cheeks crystal clear like jade, smooth skin crispy like snow, a beautiful figure, and is breathtaking. When people pay attention to her, they cannot help but take their gaze away. You volunteered. Shireen, do you think you can scare me? You told second brother a long time ago that if you want to fall in love with him, your husband must have more strength than you, not just a superhero or a hero, but at least he must be both civil and military. But now, this Xiao Yi doesn't meet any standards. He's just trash, a super toad doesn't deserve you. As Lin Shireen spoke, Lin Xiaojie became even more indignant and shouted loudly to Lin Shireen, with a look of relief and immense pain. Enough, Xiaojie, please shut up. The reprimand suddenly rang out from Lin Bao's mouth. Lin Xiaojie opened his mouth, intending to continue questioning, but when he found his father's gloomy face and a potentially explosive posture, he ultimately chose to shut up. This is the Xiao family, I can't tolerate any more recklessness from you. Besides, even if this is not the Xiao family, you shouldn't say that about your future brother. Law. Xiao Yi is the young master of the Xiao family no matter what. His father is one of the strongest in Tianfeng City and also my close friend. Therefore, you can't interfere in this marriage. Lin Bao said to Lin Xiaojie in a deep voice. Even so, you shouldn't marry your little sister to Xiao Yi. You can't sacrifice your little sister's lifelong happiness just to please the Xiao family. Lin Xiaojie said angrily again. Bastard, what do you know? Now our Lin family is in a state of life and death. If we don't ally with the Xiao family, we will immediately be in danger of annihilation. Lin Bao scolded Lin Xiaojie once again, feeling resentful and helpless. On this day in Fengcheng, there are not only the Xiao family, but also other families. Isn't it the same to ally with other families? The young masters of these aristocratic families, no matter which one, are definitely 100 times, 1,000 times stronger than Xiao Yi. Lin Xiaojie said without hesitation. Yes, the young masters of other aristocratic families are stronger than Xiao Yi Qiang, but you damn bastard, do you think about the benevolence and righteousness of the Xiao family in these other aristocratic families? Although the Shao family is one of the 8 major families in Tianfeng City, it is not like other aristocratic families that it often wants to annex other families. Now that our Lin family is declining, if we ally with other aristocratic families, it will completely lead wolves into the house. Even if we temporarily revive the Lin family, we cannot avoid the fate of being swallowed up by others in the future. Lin Bao said in a deep voice. Who knows what the Shao family is thinking? It's impossible to say that this Shao family is just one set on the surface or one set behind the scenes. Lin Xiaojie said, still unconvinced. Pop. The sound of slapping rang out, and Lin Bao slapped Lin Xiaojie hard in the face, full of anger on his face. You bastard, thank you for having the face to claim to be one of the 10 heavenly generals. I really don't know how you got this title. I've asked you to study hard with me since I was young, but you just didn't listen. You only know how to practice hard, and now you can even speak such a bastard's words. If it weren't for your elder brother betraying the family, Lin Bao would only have you as a lone child to pass on the family line. I have already killed you. If you were so reckless, only you would dare to speak such nonsense. Say. Chapter 007. Remote Absorption. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dad, you. Lin Xiaojie looked at Lin Bao with wide eyes, as if he had seen something incredibly unbelievable. Father hit him. My father actually hit Xiao Yi because of that useless person. Why is this happening? Father, has this changed? My father used to be proud of him. Because he has been practicing hard since he was young, and his qualifications are also good. Although he is now 21 years old, his overall strength has reached the peak level of condensing qi. With only one step left, he can form a Yuan fetus and become a strong Yuan fetus. The level of condensation may not be much compared to the martial arts level of the entire martial world, but in this 1 acre and 3 fun land of Tianfeng City, at the age of 20.1, he can definitely be considered a young hero, and it is precisely because of this that he can become one of the 10 heroes of Tianfeng City. Shut up, you bastard. Lin Bao angrily scolded Lin Xiaojie again. He really didn't expect Lin Xiaojie to say such things before. In anger, he immediately slapped Lin Xiaojie again. Father, it's all because of poor poetry. Don't make things difficult for second brother is also for my own good. Lin Shirin, who was already worried about the situation in front of her, saw Lin Bao's posture and took a step forward to block Lin Xiaojie. Sigh. Lin Bao gave a complex glance at Lin Shirin and then said, Shirin, my dad knows that marrying Xiao Yi has hurt you a lot, but oh. Before finishing his sentence, Lin Bao sighed again and shook his head bitterly. Shirin understands. Lin Shirin left a sensible sentence to Lin Bao, with a hint of determination flashing through her beautiful eyes. Xiao Yi. Lin Xiaojie looked at his sister standing in front of him and gritted his teeth against Xiao Yi. If Xiao Yi were to appear in front of him, he would definitely want to eat her. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 30 points. Do you want to start punching? Currently, the success rate of punching is 98%. As Lin Xiaojie gritted his teeth against Xiao Yi in his heart, Xiao Yi, who was sitting on a stone bench listening to Ling Er talk about things in a garden, suddenly stiffened and a hint of incredible surprise appeared in his eyes. How come the hatred experience has increased by another 30 points? It seems that apart from the previous incident, I haven't pulled hatred anymore. Can chatting with Ling Er be considered as pulling hatred? There's no one else around here. Strange. Xiao Yi listened to the system prompt and looked around with suspicion. What's wrong, young master? And with Xiao Yi's behavior, Ling Er, who was pouting at Xiao Yi and telling him something, looked at her curiously with her beautiful eyes flashing. The reason why Ling Er pouted is because she is very dissatisfied with what is about to happen. Lin family's marriage proposal. It's really despicable that Lin Shireen from the Lin family came to compete with her for the young master. The young master clearly belongs to her Linger, and belongs to her Linger alone. She does not allow others to snatch her young master. However, this time, the great-grandfather is completely unwilling to help him, and there is no way to make himself dissatisfied. It's nothing, Xiao Yi smiled at Linger and then secretly called out to the system inside his body. System, if it's not there, let's make a sound. Ji. As Xiao Yi slid down, the rigid sound of the system echoed in his mind. You really squeaked. Xiao Yi was speechless, but with his words, the system didn't respond much. System, tell me what happened just now. Why did the hatred experience increase by 30 points for no reason? Is someone hating me? Xiao Yi didn't pay much attention to the silence of the system, but instead asked the system about his doubts. Note. Hate experience does not increase for no reason. Every time you increase your hate experience points, it is inevitable that someone is cursing the host. The system replied. So why haven't I seen anyone else around here? Xiao Yi frowned. Note. Hate experience is not just about absorbing hatred at close range. When it meets certain requirements, it can also absorb hatred experience at long range, the system replied again. A certain requirement, for example. Xiao Yi asked in confusion. Note. Please explore on your own. System. Dizzy, you still need to explore on your own, can't you be more humane? Xiao Yi said in silence. The system fell silent again. I thought your system would always be reliable, but I didn't expect it to be unreliable at times. Seeing that the system didn't answer his own words, Xiao Yi muttered to himself, then didn't dwell on the matter, but organized the information. Since he had previously exposed that Linger was not as silly and cute on the surface, he learned from Linger why she came to him in a hurry today. Marriage. Just like what he heard from others before. Today, someone did come to find him to marry, and the person who got married was indeed Lin Shireen. At this time, it is said that the Lin family has been arranged to the Tianxin Hall, and his father, who is always in seclusion, has already been called. According to Xiao Yi's original memory, his cheap father's name was Xiao Zhantian. Since Xiao Yi became sensible, his father has often been in seclusion, with periods of several months or 1 or 2 years, and even 5 to 6 years of seclusion. It can be said that the reason why Xiao Yi was often bullied was also due to his father's isolation. If it weren't for Xiao Zhantian's frequent isolation, which gave others the opportunity to bully Xiao Yi, those people would not have dared to take action. Of course, the ultimate reason still lies with Xiao Yi. If the original Xiao Yi could be more dominant after being bullied, or force his father to make decisions for him through levels, he would not be so pitiful. After all, his father only had him as a lone child. Let's go meet the people of the Lin family now. After sorting out some information, Xiao Yi suddenly stood up and said to Linger with a smile. Ah, young master is not ready to accept this marriage, is he? Although Lin Shireen is indeed the most beautiful woman in Tianfeng City, her strength is far higher than the young master. It is said that she is no longer at the level of condensing qi. If the young master goes, she will definitely not treat the young master, and there is no possibility of being insulted. Linger pouted at Xiao Yi, looking very reluctant to see the Lin family. Let's not say whether we accept or not this marriage. Since the elders have spoken, we still need to go and take a look. Xiao Yi rubbed Linger's head with his hand and then pulled her towards the location of the Tianxin Hall. Just going to take a look. Linger flashed her beautiful eyes and quickly followed Xiao Yi, her eyes clearly glowing. Hee hee. Xiao Yi smiled but didn't say much. Chapter 008. Who dares to stop me? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Damn it, why? How could Xiao Yi, that guy, actually make the Lin family come to plead? In a courtyard, a young man with a gloomy face was smashing something in anger. Beside him stood many people of his age, including men and women, who would look at the boy with a gloomy face with strange eyes. Yeah, Xiao Yi is just trash. Why did he ask the first goddess of Tianfeng City to marry him? If he wants to marry him, he should marry us Yifeng brother. A young man wearing a blue shirt and not very tall suddenly turned his eyes and spoke angrily. Yifeng's cousin has just turned 18, but he has already broken through 45 acupoints. As long as Yifeng's cousin is willing, he can step into the condensation level at any time. With such qualifications, not to mention the pinnacle of Tianfeng City, but he is definitely one of the best. The Lin family should indeed marry our Yifeng cousin. As soon as the blue shirt boy spoke, someone spoke again. The speaker was also wearing a blue shirt, but his height was much higher than before, and his face was relatively handsome. At the same time, his age was also relatively older. Not bad, not bad. The Lin family and Xiao Yi's marriage is completely blind. Although Yifeng's cousin's strength and qualifications far surpass Xiao Yi's, that guy, relying on his own identity, has the qualification to marry Lin Shirin. This really makes people feel unfair. If flowers are placed on cow dung, it's simply like flowers being placed on cow dung. As the two young men in blue shirts spoke, others around them also spoke angrily. Every word they uttered made the young man's face even more gloomy as he smashed something. The young man who smashed things is named Xiao Yifeng. Xiao Yifeng, like Xiao Yi, is also a legitimate member of the Xiao clan and the son of Xiao Yi's second uncle. He is slightly older than Xiao Yi, and has already broken through 45 acupoints at the age of 18. In the Xiao clan, he can be considered a genius. If it weren't for Xiao Yifeng's desire to strengthen his foundation, he could have advanced to the condensing qi level at any time. Moreover, even though Xiao Yifeng has not reached the level of condensing qi, his strength in breaking through 45 acupoints is still more powerful than the typical condensing qi warrior who only breaks through 36 acupoints and begins to condense qi. It is precisely because of Xiao Yifeng's talent that he has gathered many Xiao ethnic peers around him. In the past, Xiao Yifeng never cared about Xiao Yi at all and never gave him a serious glance. However, today, Xiao Yifeng has never expected that Lin Shirin, who he has been pursuing hard but cannot win any favor, would marry Xiao Yi, that useless person. At the first moment he learned about this matter, Xiao Yifeng couldn't help but be furious. If it weren't for his rationality telling him not to dare to act foolishly, he would definitely go and kill Xiao Yi as soon as possible. Enough, stop talking. The loud shout suddenly came from Xiao Yifeng's mouth, and with the sound coming out, he suddenly stopped smashing things and then turned his gaze to the nearby Xiao ethnic peers, his eyes flashing with cold light. All the young people of the Xiao ethnic group who were watched by Xiao Yifeng changed their faces. Although their words just now seemed to be a sign of mutual hatred, most of their thoughts were also instigating Xiao Yifeng to seek trouble from Xiao Yi. Although it is difficult to win favor for the first beautiful woman in Tianfeng City based on their strength, it does not mean that they are willing to marry that useless person Xiao Yi just because they are the first beautiful woman in Tianfeng City. You should know that among the people listed, not everyone has bullied Xiao Yi before. In the eyes of many people, Xiao Yi is simply a waste that anyone can step on. Let's go, everyone follow me to the Tianqin temple. Xiao Yifeng glanced coldly at the people around him, then his eyes flashed fiercely, and he strode towards the outside of the other courtyard. With his behavior, the other people in the other courtyard had a hint of excitement in their eyes. There's another good show to watch. It may not be an easy task for Xiao Yi to successfully marry Lin Shirin now. Although Xiao Yifeng is only a junior member of the Xiao clan in terms of identity, with his cultivation ability, the decisions made by the clan will not completely ignore his opinions. After all, a genius who has just turned 18 and has broken through 45 acupoints is still highly valued by the higher-ups in the Xiao clan. When Xiao Yifeng was walking towards the Tianqin hall like this, similar things were happening in other parts of the Shao clan, and even earlier, Shao Yifeng was walking towards the Tianqin Hall step by step. The Shao family has existed in Tianfeng City for hundreds of years, and currently there are tens of thousands of children in their clan. It is said that they have some relationship with the imperial capital Shao family, but it has not been confirmed exactly what happened. Due to the large number of children in the Shao clan, it is impossible for them to have only Shao Yifeng as a genius. Currently, there are still many talented and even stronger ones in the Shao clan than Shao Yifeng. A continuous stream of people gathered towards the Tianqin Hall of the Shao clan, and as these people gathered, some high-level members of the Shao clan also arrived at the Tianqin Hall. Although the Lin family in Tianfeng City is not as good as before and may be excluded from the scope of the 8 major aristocratic families at any time, overall, the Lin family is still good. Nowadays, the head of the Lin family comes to propose marriage with their children, and such matters cannot be neglected no matter what. If it weren't for the head of the Shao family, who stayed in seclusion and wouldn't be able to discuss marriage for a while, coupled with the fact that the elders of the Shao family also need to discuss the pros and cons of this marriage with the Lin family and send people to search for Shao Yi, it would be absolutely impossible for the head of the Lin family and his children to stay alone in the Heavenly Heart Hall. Quickly, the 8 elders of the Shao clan arrived at the Tianqin Hall. When the 8 elders arrived at the Tianqin Hall, they did not immediately discuss marriage with Lin Bao, but chatted with each other. "Let me in. Damn it, I don't even know you anymore. Let me in. Who dares to stop me?" While chatting with the 8 elders of the Shao clan and Lin Bao, suddenly a commotion rang out from the outer door of the Tianqin Hall, causing the 8 elders who had heard such a commotion to change their faces. "Who's making noise outside?" A middle-aged man wearing a black robe, with a solemn face and a scar on his face, suddenly frowned and shouted in a low voice at the entrance. "Report to the 3rd elder, there are many young masters outside who want to break in." The voice of a guard entered the main hall. Bold. A cold light flashed in the middle-aged man's eyes. He had been in charge of the Shao family's punishment hall for many years, and this was the first time anyone dared not take the rules of the Shao family so seriously. Chapter 009. Is not convinced. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With a loud shout, the 3rd elder Shao Zhanlong slammed his chair heavily, then stood up and waited outside to tidy up those scumbags. Nowadays, it is quite important for the Lin family to come and propose marriage, while those Shao clan children outside have trespassed into the Tianqin Hall. Isn't this a clear expression of disrespect towards the Shao clan and a joke for the Lin family? Wait. However, just as Shao Zhanghua was preparing to deal with those guys, someone suddenly spoke up and called out to Shao Zhanlong. The person who spoke up had a face very similar to Shao Zhanlong's, and his name was Shao Zhanghua. He was dressed in a purple robe, with an elegant temperament and a smile, making him feel like a spring breeze. "Second brother." Shao Zhanlong frowned and glanced at Shao Zhanghua. "Let those guys all come in, my Shao clan's children are not reckless people. At this moment, they may break into the Heavenly Heart Palace and there may be something wrong," Shao Zhanghua said with a smile. "Well, I also agree with what second brother said." Without waiting for Shao Zhanlong to answer anything, someone spoke up again. This person sat with Shao Zhanlong, dressed in a blue robe, with gentle and refined qualifications, holding a folding fan, and his name was Shao Zhanyu. "Since second brother and fifth brother have both spoken up, third brother, please let those guys outside come in. Today is a day of great joy for our Shao clan, so don't get angry." An elder, dressed in a red robe, with a burly figure and a national face, suddenly spoke up to Shao Zhanlong and said, "This person is called Shao Zhanaying. What are the opinions of other elders?" Shao Zhanlong didn't answer immediately, but glanced at the other elders of the Shao clan. "Let them come in." "Master Lin, my Shao family's discipline is silent, I made you laugh." As Shao Zhanlong looked at each other, the elders exchanged a glance and then spoke up. Since that's the case, let those brats come in, Xiao Zhanlong said as he saw the situation, and then ordered the guards outside to release the Xiao tribe youths. As Xiao Zhanlong instructed, he immediately saw Xiao Yifeng walking in with a group of people. Then, one boy after another quickly walked into the Tianxin hall. In just a short moment, hundreds of boys walked into the room. If it weren't for the large interior space of the Tianxin hall, these hundreds of people might not have been able to hold on to them at all. After these people walked into the Tianxin hall, when they saw 8 elders sitting inside, some of them suddenly changed their faces, while others remained non-committal. However, regardless of the change, one thing these guys all agreed on was to salute the elders of the Xiao clan at the same time. A group of brats, who gave you the courage to break into the Heavenly Heart Hall. When Xiao Yifeng and others entered the hall, Xiao Zhanlong shouted in a deep voice to the young men, his face gloomy, and his eyes filled with evil energy, making many of them tremble with fear. We can't accept it. Under Xiao Zhanlong's gaze, although the young men were quite frightened, someone still spoke up, and the first person to do so was undoubtedly Xiao Yifeng. Disagree. What are you dissatisfied with? Xiao Zhanlong's face darkened, and a terrifying aura suddenly emanated from his body, like that fierce beast that devours people, which could be suppressed and erupt at any moment. Under the changes of Xiao Zhanlong, Xiao Yifeng's face changed dramatically, and sweat instantly wet his back. A pair of eyes couldn't help but look at the second elder, Xiao Zhanghua. Third brother, please forgive me for my recklessness. Xiao Zhanghua smiled and spoke to Xiao Zhanlong. As he spoke, he waved his right hand towards Xiao Yifeng. With this wave, the pressure felt by Xiao Yifeng disappeared instantly. Humph. Xiao Zhanlong snorted coldly, and then his gaze turned towards Xiao Zhanghua with killing intent. Yifeng, I haven't apologized to Sanbo yet. Xiao Zhanghua didn't feel the look of Xiao Zhanlong and Xiao Sha's gaze, and smiled as he looked at Xia Yifeng. No, I don't agree, I just don't agree. Why can Xiao Yi marry Shirin? He has useless qualifications and is as timid as a mouse. Why should he marry the Lin family? It's because it should be me. Although Xiao Yifeng's face turned a bit pale due to the influence of Xiao Zhanlong's power earlier, he didn't give up his flag and drum, but suddenly said loudly. When he said these words, his gaze was extremely firm, as if he had let go. Yes, we can't accept it. Why should the Lin family choose Xiao Yi for marriage? What is Xiao Yi like to me? I don't agree, we don't agree. It's too unfair to let Xiao Yi marry Shirin. He doesn't deserve Shirin at all, he doesn't deserve Shirin at all. As soon as Xiao Yifeng's words fell, the talented young men who had also broken into the Tianqin temple began to speak up one after another. With Xiao Yifeng leading the way, they were all fearless and fearless, as if they had suffered great injustice. Bastard! Xiao Zhanlong's eyes flickered with a cold light, and he never expected that this group of bastards would break into the main hall for such a purpose. Boom! With Xiao Zhanlong's anger, the entire hall suddenly roared out of thin air, and a rolling storm formed in the hall. At the same time, a huge pressure pressed against the young people such as Xiao Yifeng. Bang, bang, bang. In just an instant, all the young people of the Xiao clan were forced to kneel on the ground by this powerful pressure. However, although they were all pressed to the ground, no one was injured or anything. After kneeling down one by one, although a hint of fear appeared in their eyes, they still had a sense of defiance. Third brother. Third brother. With Xiao Zhanlong's manipulation, many other elders in the hall changed their faces and quickly greeted Xiao Zhanlong. Use coercion to oppress children. Such things can easily lead to problems. Those with weak willpower will have a problem with their mood and will never recover. No matter how difficult it is to progress in martial arts, those who break into the main hall now may not be all the heroes of the Xiao clan, but many are also the current seed disciples of the Xiao clan. If such people have problems, they will cause significant losses to the Xiao clan. Why, Are all the elders ready to protect them? Xiao Zhanlong coldly looked at the other elders around him. For a moment, he was really angry. If it weren't for considering that many of these guys in front of him were seed disciples of the Xiao clan, they wouldn't have just knelt down. Of course not, it's just that this can easily lead to problems. Third brother, let's put down our momentum. Xiao Zhanghua smiled and spoke, waiting to relieve the pressure on Xiao Yifeng. If second brother takes another action, don't blame Zhanlong for violating the clan rules. Xiao Zhanlong narrowed his eyes. Third brother, why are you doing this? This is. Xiao Zhanghua's face stiffened, and he continued to smile bitterly at Xiao Zhanlong. Humph. Xiao Zhanlong let out a cold snort, then didn't look at the elders and kneeling youths around him. Instead, he turned his gaze to Lin Bao, who showed no signs of movement from beginning to end. I'm sorry, Master Lin, the kids were reckless. Xiao Zhanlong apologized and arched his hand at Lin Bao. There's no reason for daring to love or hate. However, the marriage between Shirin and Xiao Yi was actually told to Zhan Tian at a young age, so the little ones are going to disappoint you. Lin Bao laughed and then smiled at the young Xiao people kneeling on the ground, as if he didn't care about their reckless behavior. Speaking of which, these guys on the ground are really very reckless. When the Lin family marries a daughter, it is up to the Lin family to determine the candidate. There is no room for them to be reckless. Oh, what kind of situation is this? Even if you know I'm coming, you don't have to kneel and wait for me. As Lin Bao's words fell, before the others in the hall could reply, a mischievous and arrogant voice rang out. Then, a handsome young man walked into the hall, pulling a pretty and delicate girl with a flushed face. 010 Chapter Group Mockery, Keep Group Mockery. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Yi. Almost as soon as Xiao Yi walked into the main hall, all the kneeling youths turned their gaze to Xiao Yi, and hatred filled their eyes one by one. This damn thing. They were already unhappy about Xiao Yi's upcoming marriage to Lin Shirin, and it was precisely because of Xiao Yi that they knelt down on the ground. Now, in addition, this guy was actually holding a soft girl with his hand while walking so arrogantly into the main hall, which immediately made them furious. Kneel down and bow down. I kneel on your field. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 5 points, whether to start punching, current success rate of 71%. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 5 points, whether to start punching, current success rate of 76%. Ding. Ding. When the teenagers hated Xiao Yi, the system prompt sound kept ringing in Xiao Yi's mind. The prompt sound was so fast that it made Xiao Yi smile and his eyes almost squint. Good people. These teenagers are all good people. Feeling that his experience of punching acupoints was constantly improving, Xiao Yi was very happy. If it weren't for something wrong, he really wanted to choose punching acupoints continuously. In fact, this is not the first time that Xiao Yi has learned hatred experience from these young people in front of him. When he was outside the main hall of the Tianxin Hall earlier, he had already absorbed a wave of hatred experience. Originally, when he arrived at the Heavenly Heart Hall, he had 98 points of hatred experience and a success rate of 98% in acupoint flushing. Unexpectedly, as soon as he walked to the door, he succeeded in acquiring experience one after another. The sound of a reminder to increase his experience by a little bit sounded one after another, allowing him to absorb 268 points of hatred experience in one go. 268 points of hatred experience, plus the original 98 points of hatred experience, is 366 points of hatred experience. 366 points of hatred experience instantly made Xiao Yi break through 3 acupoints in a row. When Xiao Yi stepped into the main hall, he had 5 Chongxue points. Breaking through 5 acupoints consecutively within a day would be extremely frightening if such a thing were to spread. Looking at all the so-called geniuses of the Xiao clan, none of them are as rebellious as Xiao Yi. Moreover, not only the Xiao clan, but also the entire Tianfeng city, Xiao Yi's achievements are also very rebellious. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 5 points, whether to start punching, current success rate of 1406%. When the last system prompt sounded in Xiao Yi's mind, his heart was completely in a state of excitement. 1406 o'clock. At present, Xiao Yi has 1406 points of experience. In just a blink of an eye, Xiao Yi's hatred experience reached such a level. According to the previous situation of acupoint flushing, this is the rhythm of a sudden surge of 14 acupoints. 14 acupoints plus the original 5 acupoints. 19, isn't it possible to kill 19 acupoints in one go? Although these acupoints may not be considered a genius among the young Xiao ethnic group of Xiao Yi's generation at his current age, reaching 19 acupoints at once is definitely very frightening. This is only the first day, this is the first day I've traveled through, and even less than an hour. However, although Xiao Yi had 1406 points of experience in his body, under the excitement, he still did not choose to charge acupoints. It was not that he did not want to, but rather that there were many experts in the hall in front of him. Once he chose to charge acupoints at this time, he would definitely be discovered by these people that something was wrong. So, in the end, Xiao Yi rationally suppressed the idea of punching acupoints. After suppressing these thoughts, Xiao Yi's gaze towards the young Xiao clan became very strange, and he couldn't help but lick his lips. A pile of experience. These young Xiao people on the ground are completely equivalent to a wave of hate experience. Shu. Attention, a large wave of hatred experience is approaching, please do not move, Xiao Yi, this guy can't be changed, can he? How could he look at me with such a gaze? Ugly Zorik, the expression is too lewd Zorik. Damn it. As Xiao Yi couldn't help but lick his lips, many of the young men knelt on the ground, their eyes suddenly shrank, and their bodies couldn't help but shiver. A young man stared at a bunch of teenagers with lewd eyes, licking his lips. No matter how you look at it, it will definitely make people imagine and feel dizzy. We are all blood relatives, no need to be polite. Let's all get up, all the ministers are on equal footing. Under the confusion of Xiao Yifeng and others, Xiao Yi smiled and spoke to the young men. Can you bear it when all the ministers are on equal footing? The talented young men who were already very dissatisfied with Xiao Yi suddenly roared at him as he said these words. Among them, Xiao Yifeng was the first to bear the brunt, looking at Xiao Yi with extremely angry eyes. All the ministers are flat. This is a common phrase used by the royal family and emperors towards those courtiers. At this moment, is Xiao Yi implying something? Is it implying that these people are all destined to be his subjects? Shit. Swelling up, cousin Yifeng, what can't I bear about this? After all, I am the young master of the Xiao clan. Xiao Yi glanced at Xiao Yifeng, who was drinking angrily, and smiled before saying a sentence. He ignored Xiao Yifeng's reaction and turned his gaze to the nearby Xiao clan elder. Xiao Yi has seen all the elders. Xiao Yi smiled and saluted the 8 elders of the Xiao clan. After speaking, his gaze turned again and focused on Lin Bao, Lin Xiaojie, and Lin Shirin. More precisely, it actually fell on Lin Shirin. Shirin sister, I knew you would be mine. After Xiao Yi's gaze fell on Lin Shirin, he proudly said a sentence to her. At the same time, he quickly ran towards her and, under the gaze of many gazes in the hall, suddenly grasped her hand. Quiet. At this moment, the entire hall suddenly became silent. Xiao Yi. Immediately after, Xiao Yifeng roared out loud. Then a series of loud cheers rang out one after another. At this moment, not only were the Xiao ethnic youths kneeling on the ground, but also Lin Xiaojie, an elder brother not far from Lin Shirin. Ding, successfully obtained hatred, increased hatred experience by 1 point, whether to start punching, current success rate of 1,407%. Ding! Ding! In an instant, the system prompt sounded in Xiao Yi's mind, and a large amount of hatred experience increased slightly. Although a little hatred experience was rare, it couldn't withstand the crowds. In just a moment, Xiao Yi added 269 points of experience again. At this point, his system experience has once again reached a new height, reaching 1675 points. Oh, how come the hatred experience has increased by 269 points? Isn't each one only adding a little bit of hatred experience? According to the recent increase in hatred experience, now the only reason why this hall hates me is the 268 idiots kneeling on the ground. The increase in system hatred experience didn't surprise Xiao Yi, but he was surprised to have added a little more experience. Oh, by the way, it seems that Lin Xiaojie also yelled at me. It's hard not to say that he brought me this bit of hatred experience. Xiao Yi narrowed his eyes and then turned his gaze to Lin Xiaojie. Lin Xiaojie, who knew this, had a red gaze, clenched his fists, and a posture of wanting to immediately take action to clean up Xiao Yi. It seems that he is right, the system, scan Lin Xiaojie. Xiao Yi thought for a moment. Scan target. Lin Xiaojie. Gender. Male. Martial realm. The peak of condensed qi. Age. 21. Cultivation qualification. Average. At present, the hatred towards the host is 31, which is considered safe. It is recommended that the host continue to hold the hatred. At the peak of qi condensation, with 31 hatred points. I didn't expect this guy to be even stronger than his predecessor's memory. As for the 31 hatred points, what's going on? When did he have over 30 hatred points towards Maine? Wait, when I was talking to Linger in that garden, the 30 hatred points I absorbed were not what he brought, right? Xiao Yi's eyes flickered after learning about Lin Xiaojie's intelligence information. Xiao Yi, let go of the poetry. Get off your dirty hands. Don't let me have the urge to hit you. The young men on the ground kept roaring at Xiao Yi, each with a threatening face. Xiao Yifeng even wanted to stand up from the ground and fight Xiao Yi, but no matter how he moved, he couldn't stand up. It turned out that at this moment, Xiao Zhanlong's pressure still exerted on him, making him unable to stand up. In addition, not only Xiao Yifeng still couldn't stand up, but other young men of the Xiao clan were the same. Hit me. Are you all idiots? You actually want to hit me? Shireen is about to become my wife. I'll hold her little hand and do whatever you do, not to mention holding her little hand. It's none of your business for me to kiss her. Xiao Yi stared arrogantly at the young people of the Xiao clan on the ground, shouted coldly, and then wrapped his hand around Lin Shireen's waist with a crimson face. Then he turned his gaze to Xiao Zhanlong, looking very innocent at him. Uncle San, these guys are bullying people too much. The brothers of these clans on the ground are really bullying people too much. They even want to hit me, in front of all the elders. I am the young master of the Xiao clan, the future helmsman of the Xiao clan. How dare they speak so recklessly, and commit the following offenses? Shut up, who is your wife? A foolish person would dream that Shireen wouldn't marry you. She belongs to me. Xiao Yifeng's outburst echoed once again. Because it should be my talent. Xiao Yi, what qualifications do you have? What qualifications do you have to possess poetry? Qualification waste, timid personality, Xiao Yi, you have the ability to duel with me. Get your dirty hands off me, get your dirty hands off me. Without waiting for Xiao Zhanlong to answer, as Xiao Yifeng drank heavily, the young people of the Xiao ethnic group kneeling on the ground once again started drinking heavily at Xiao Yi. Each of them looked at Xiao Yi with fierce eyes, and as they did, a series of system prompts sounded again. 269 o'clock. Once again, 269 points of hatred experience have been increased. It goes without saying that Lin Xiaojie, like other teenagers, contributed a bit of hatred experience to Xiao Yi this time. In this way, Xiao Yi's hatred experience has reached 1944 points. Lin Xiaojie can't be a fan, can he? Otherwise, how could he continue to increase his hatred experience towards me? Xiao Yi gave Lin Xiaojie a strange look, and then sneered at the young people of the Xiao tribe on the ground, saying, "You idiots. It seems that you are really a group of idiots. Fortunately, you are usually called geniuses. Why should I duel with you, and what qualifications do you have to duel with me? Poetry is mine, which is an indelible fact that no one can erase. Don't think of using your rich experience to lower my intelligence. Your strong sense of superiority can't bear it. P.S. Knife is on the third watch every day. If brothers and sisters also think it is wonderful, please come under the book review. The book review is very cold. Please let Knife feel your presence and give impetus to Knife. Thank you. The cold book review is really cool.